MrTransformers96 here with a quick video just discussing my brief thoughts on some of the new trailers that have been shown. For some reason it is just trailer week. We're getting trailers for every new big blockbuster of the summer, which is pretty crazy and it's pretty awesome. I imagine a few of these will be shown in front of Avengers, so that will be great. But we did get trailers for Terminator Genesis, Jurassic World, AntMan, Star Wars, Batman vs. Superman, and Fantastic Four. So that's really great. It's just they're all updated trailers. We did get our first trailer for Superman vs. Batman, though. So a lot to talk about here, and I don't plan on doing such an in-depth review as I usually do if I discuss one trailer. This will be my very quick thoughts on each trailer. Quickly here we have two of them I'm not even going to show any part of the trailer, just going to show a picture of, because I don't have much to say about them. We got Terminator Genesis, looking very cool. A lot of people are hating this trailer because it does reveal a lot of stuff that you probably wouldn't want to know without just actually seeing it in the theater. So they did kind of spoil some stuff in the trailer here. I don't care too personally because I'm not a huge Terminator fan. I've seen the other Terminators and I do enjoy them, but I'm not like a huge fan of the series. I'll obviously see this movie and I am looking forward to it, but it's not something that I'm a diehard fan of, so I don't mind the spoiler too much compared to some of the big fans. So looking forward to that. Looks like it's got some cool graphics and some neat looking Terminators, and that'll be fun to watch. Jurassic World, another one I'm not a diehard fan of. Obviously I've seen Jurassic Park and I do enjoy it a lot. I think it's really great, and the CGI holds up to today. It's very suspenseful and cool. Obviously Chris Pratt being in the movie is pretty awesome, and love his character. This trailer does show quite a lot. I do like it a lot. One thing that I'm a little disappointed in is they do show the artificially made dinosaur. I was hoping that they'd kind of keep that a secret so that in the movie, you could see its reveal, because I'm sure they'll wait a decent amount of time during the movie to show the actual dinosaur. But if you see him in the trailer, the big showing of him won't be as spectacular. So wish that they would have waited to show him. They didn't show him in great detail in this trailer, though, just a couple quick shots of them, but it would have been really cool if they could have waited until the actual movie release for us to show that. Now let's go talk about, let's do Ant-Man 2, start off with that. Alright, so this is the second trailer for Ant-Man. Looking very cool, I have to say. It does show a lot more than the first one. The first one was relatively bland, in my opinion. It still, set the tone, and, you got a couple cool looks, but it was relatively bland. It didn't show the villain at all. It didn't show much fighting. This one does a lot more. It shows a lot more, which I really do like. And one thing that I especially personally like is the fact that they do show a lot of Yellow Jacket and the actual fight the Yellow Jacket and Ant-Man will have. It's very exciting. I love Marvel villains. And one thing that I like about this movie is it's kind of taking it back to where it used to be, Marvel in general. Nowadays we always have a hero with either like a team or a sidekick going up against a villain with an army, and the villain's always got an army. But back when Marvel first started, it was just one hero, one villain, and they really just fought right at the end of the movie. They didn't encounter each other in the middle or anything for any, extended amount of period, Iron Man versus the Ironmonger and Iron Man 1, as well as Hulk versus Abomination Hulk. So I really do like that style, and I like the fact that this is kind of going back to that. So that's pretty neat, and I am very excited to actually see it. We got a ton of new looks at Yellow Jacket, which is super cool. I love the fact that they will be fighting in like a little girl's room with a train set, very small Thomas the Train one, as you can see right there, which is just really awesome. It's a really fun place to have a final battle, and it does look like it can provide some comedy, as we'll see here in a second. My thoughts of why they are in this location. I'm guessing that Yellow Jacket is trying to get a piece of the suit or something from Ant-Man, and he's not able to get it. Maybe Ant-Man destroys it or something like that. So what Yellow Jacket does in his final attempt at revenge, because he can't get what he's after, he goes to his daughter's, his house, and to kill his daughter. That's my guess. I'm hoping that that's the case, because I think that will be really cool, and it'll give the hero some serious motivation to win the fight. Next up, we've got Fantastic Four. This is the second trailer as well, looking very cool. This one, you know, the first one I really liked it. It had a great tone that I wasn't expecting, and it showed a little bit of the heroes in action, but not a ton. This one basically does the same thing, just takes it up a notch. You get more to the story, and you get a little bit more of the action and the looks of the characters. Although, that being said, they don't show too much, which I do like. We do get our first look at Doctor Doom, which is very neat. And I am excited to see Doctor Doom in this movie. Hopefully he's cool. Not a whole lot to say about this one, though, that I haven't already said in other videos. I was very skeptical when they first announced things about this movie, like the cast, and since then, with the trailers, I have started to warm up to it, which I think is pretty much the feelings of everybody. I'm not a fan of the young cast, but I think that they're taking the movie in a pretty neat direction compared to the last series. It's very modern, new, and dark, which, you know, I think is well needed after the very lighthearted and comedic style of the last series. So I am going to be very excited to see this movie. It could turn out to be pretty bad, or it could turn out to be a pleasant surprise. Being very entertaining and realistic and giving this team a proper movie appearance. I also do give them credit because I think that Fantastic Four is probably one of the hardest, superhero movies to make, considering you've got to make this team, that all get these powers in the same place, yet they're all completely different and some ridiculous powers. While, with Iron Man, it's just him building a suit, or with any of the other characters, it's just one particular person that does an experiment or something happens where they do get a power, and it's not these because Doctor Doom is with them, 5 people who do one thing that gives them all different powers that aren't even similar. So I do think that this one looks really good. I mean, for Fantastic Four, I think that they're doing a wonderful job. Next up, we have Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. This trailer, when I originally saw it, I thought it was a little lackluster. It was a little disappointing. And the really reason I thought that, for the most part, was the fact that we're getting so many other crazy, huge, awesome trailers. So, to get one that's a little bit more toned down and not as interesting, obviously makes it very disappointing. But I do like the fact that they are exploring the controversy with Superman. Obviously, if you have an alien that can basically do whatever on your planet, it's not going to be so, oh great, he's here and he's going to save us all, It's going to be a lot of people very skeptical, a lot of people wanting him off Earth, which, would be very realistic. So it's something that has never been explored in a Superman movie before. That's something that would obviously happen, so in real life, if there was a Superman. So overall, I am very excited with that concept. I think that's really cool. This does give us a couple cool looks at Batman. Nothing too much, though. It doesn't show us anything too, it doesn't show too much, basically. And then we do get a couple voiceovers from Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg, as well as Alfred. Jesse Eisenberg, a lot of people have been hating that casting choice. I didn't mind it, but, maybe when I see the movie, I'll change my mind, or hopefully I won't change my mind, and I'll be very happy with that casting choice. We'll have to see, though. I've warmed up to the idea of Ben Affleck being Batman, just as I think everybody has warmed up to the idea of that. His robotic suit Batman's right here. As you can see, it looks pretty decent. I mean, I like the regular Batman suit much better, but obviously that, regular Batman cannot fight a superhero like Superman. He's just unbeatable. So obviously you've got to give something to Batman to make the fight more realistic, and not just so Superman just killing him right away. So overall, I see that it is necessary. I think that his voice is much better than the Christian Bale's. Like he's got something caught in his throat. This one is obviously more mechanical speaking, or more mechanical sounding, which I think sounds really neat. And we'll have to see if that is only when he's in the mechanical suit, or if he actually does have that same type of voice when he is in the regular Batman suit. This one, I am very excited for. Obviously, we've got more than a year before it comes out, so plenty of more trailers to come, but it's looking good so far. And one thing I don't like about this trailer, though, is that the last scene with Batman looking at Superman and vice versa, we've seen that already at Comic-Con, so So for a climax image of a trailer, it shouldn't be something that we've already seen before. And just about every trailer will give us something new for the climax, because that's the biggest part of the trailer. You know, we don't want something that we've already seen, and we saw it at Comic-Con. So I really wish that they picked a different image as the climax. They did do some IMAX screenings of this trailer where they actually did throw in another image, and it was Batman and Superman running at each other, or Superman was flying and Batman was kind of jumping, and they were about to, you know, punch each other. And I think that would have been a much better image to show at the end of this trailer. So it's disappointing that they didn't fully release that and only people at the IMAX screenings got to see it. You can find pictures of it on Instagram and stuff, though. It does look pretty neat. And the last thing I'll be talking about, definitely the most interesting for most people, I would say, is the Star Wars trailer 2. The Force Awakens, obviously. This is very exciting. Star Wars is probably the most anticipated film of the year, and one of my most anticipated films. I'm thinking that Avengers is a little higher just because I'm more of a Marvel fan, but I do love Star Wars, so I am very excited for this, and I'm really ready to get back into Star Wars. It's been so long since I've had anything, to get me excited about Star Wars, so really glad about this. Love that shot of the Star Destroyer all kind of destroyed. This very much feels like the old trilogy is over, and this is starting over. As you can see, we do have a mangled Darth Vader helmet, which is just great. Ties it to the old trilogy a bit. Some great images, and a ton to talk about here. Let's see. We've got a ton of new Star Wars, stormtroopers. Obviously, there's a ton of new ones. There's flamethrower ones. There's new there's new snow troopers. There's the generals and stuff, and they just look really cool. I'm a fan of the new stormtrooper helmet. I know a lot of people don't like that so much, but I am quite a fan of it. Love that shot there with the stormtroopers. I think that looks great. As you can see, this is a really interesting shot too. I really want to talk about that very fast, briefly here. Obviously, we do have some, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to call these TIE fighters, I believe they are, destroying stormtroopers, which is odd. So, who knows if like a hero has commandeered that ship, or if it is a villain, just taking out a base or something of their own. Who knows what that scene's going to be all about. But this is really cool. It's very war-ish and a little bit more modern and realistic compared to the old trilogy as well as the prequel. So I am very excited for that scene, as well as really quickly here, as you can see, we do have one of the main cast members in his Stormtrooper outfit. Let me try to pause this right at the right spot. I can't get it. But the helmet that he is wearing that he takes off does have, there we go, does have blood marks on it. Obviously somebody who was dying, with blood on their hand touched his helmet, which looks really cool. I think that's going to be a great scene where he's going to witness something that is really going to freak him out, because obviously if you look at his face here, that did truly disturb him. So that's going to be an awesome shot. Again, bringing more realistic and realism into the Star Wars universe, which, in somewhat fashion hasn't been shown in the others, making it just a little bit more modern. So I think that that's just great, and I'm very excited to see who dies there. That is a great looking Stormtrooper. I don't know what kind of Stormtrooper that is, but that one just looks amazing. Can't wait for the Hot Toys one. Obviously, we've got the Millennium Falcon fighting a TIE Fighter inside of a Star Destroyer. Doesn't get much better than that, folks. But it might. As you can see, we do have this great shot here with Han Solo and Chewie, obviously looking great, and he says, Chewie, we're home. Really love that scene. Obviously, that's one that's going to resonate with every Star Wars fan. So overall, we got some terrific trailers. Not a single bad one, they're just really all good. I'd love to hear what your guys' favorite trailer is and what's your most anticipated movie. I'm probably, out of these, I think the best trailer was obviously Star Wars. You just got to give it to that. I think that the AntMan trailer did show a ton of new stuff, which is just great and really advanced the knowledge of the plot of that movie. As well as the Fantastic Four really didn't show us anything. They showed all new scenes, but nothing different was known about the movie still. So I do like the somewhat secretism in that movie, based on its trailers and advertising. I do think it does look great. And then we get our first look at Batman and Superman, which is just fantastic. Even though they didn't show much, any news at this point is wonderful, considering it is more than a year away. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the newest trailers being shown. I don't think that we're going to get another great trailer in a long time because just about every big movie has released their trailer right now. So I think it's going to be a couple months before we get any other great trailers again or sequel trailers to any of these that we've already gotten. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the new trailers, and thanks for watching.